Accessing our stillness is probably one of the hardest things to do. From an early age, we've been taught that being busy is actually much more important than just being. We've been taught that if we achieve, if we show off, if we produce, we are valued more than the quiet, still that are often left unseen and unnoticed. This quote by Henry Nouwen actually sums it up so nicely. He says, "Our lives often seem like an overpacked suitcase, bursting at the seams. In fact, we are almost always aware of being behind schedule. There is a nagging sense that there are unfinished tasks, unfulfilled promises, unrealized proposals. There is always something else that we should have remembered, done, or said." I'm so aware of even the simplest tasks being overcomplicated in this time. I often have to have a giggle when I sit in the car, maybe waiting for somebody in a parking lot, and you see people leaving their cars on their way to the shops, merrily strolling, and then suddenly they have to make a U-turn. They walk back to the car, half embarrassed, half angry, open it up and grab their masks. Come on, we've all done it. We have to have a giggle about that sooner or later. When I think about stillness, I envision a place where we are able to really become quiet and gentle, compassionate with ourselves. A place where we are focused yet free. A place where the silence can actually fill us and empty us at exactly the same time. Words that come to mind are balanced, centered, forgiving. I think in so many ways, the silence within us is that place where nothing matters, yet everything makes sense. How do we get there? It's a hard question. I've learned to rely heavily on two things, because those two things are the only things that bring me to the here and now. And no, it is not controlling your mind, because controlling your mind is such an abstract idea. It is learning to not let your mind control you, therefore giving it an alternative, giving it something that it can hold on to and let go of simultaneously. The two things that I find help me most in silencing or quieting my mind is, first of all, the breath. This is what God gave us in order to become human. This is in which our value as human beings lie. For without breath, we are only body. It is breath that actually makes us human. Breath possibly being the carrier of the soul. And if you can connect to your breath, you can connect to that silent moment within. This doesn't have to be complex. It doesn't have to be fancy. It can be a momentary, conscious connection. And if I'm right, it's Kabat-Zinn that said that one conscious breath can be a full meditation. Can you see how that quiet moment, that silence, that breath, bringing you into the here and now, can center you, can help you to connect to your own stillness, help you to be still and know that I'm God? The second thing, almost as profound as breathing, is our senses. Our senses might exist in some form in our memory, but they are the one thing that in their natural, undiluted form only exist in the here and now. So they can act as a bridge to bring us to the here and now. In the here and now, where our minds are not in the past or in the future, but where our bodies bring us into the moment. I think many of us know the practice of looking at 5 things that we can see, focusing on 4 things that we can hear, 3 things that we can feel, 2 things that we can smell, and 1 thing that we can taste, as a step-by-step centering, quieting moment, to use that to bring us into the stillness. This powerful technique can be utilized in any circumstances. We can literally sit on a busy street in the middle of our morning commute to work and use this just to connect. It is so much easier and somewhat more fulfilling, I have to say, when we sit outside in nature, and nature, being the perfect conduit of stillness, can help us through our senses to become still. These 2 things are enough. Your will to want to be still is enough. It might not always be easy, but I think if we are able to practice with discipline something like this, we are actually able to get to a point where we can quiet our minds. What would we find there in the stillness? I think the easiest answer is found in Psalm 46:10, that says, "Be still and know that I am God." I feel consoled by those words. Be still and know that I am God. My heart becomes quiet. My mind slows down when I hear those words. It's like the restlessness subsides for a moment. I don't only know God, I know all the different parts of Him in the same moment. I feel the Protector, the Almighty, the Peace, the Redeemer, Creator, the God of miracles, and the God of pure being, like Chopra describes Him. All the different parts of Him inside of me. But I also do feel me inside of Him. And for me, that is the most prolific thing that we can actually find in that stillness. We radically align with the divine. In that moment of true stillness, there is a connection so profound, it cannot tangibly be described. It is us and Him, Him and us, our relationship together in a moment. Be still and know that I am God. May this for you be as special as it is for me. May you be able to live this in your life and to let it spiral out to all the areas, not just in the moment of breath and senses, but every day, in every moment. I share this with great respect for the human being that you are and the challenges that you are going through. No, you are not alone. Lots of love.